Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Throne Live. We've been doing this for a few weeks now. It's been absolutely awesome. Today we're talking shooter string theory. I think it'd be kind of cool each week to pick a topic and talk about it for an hour or two, get some questions in from the chat, and also, of course, have a special guest. What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great Saturday. And whoever got kicked out of that tournament, it happens. It's happened to me more than once for shenanigans, as we'll say, playing hockey and lacrosse for many years. That'll happen for sure. I think today's going to be pretty awesome. We got an awesome guest for you guys that I think can shed a lot of knowledge on what we're going to be talking about, and has a lot of experience still playing to this day at a high competitive level, which I think is amazing. And Redbeard just wants to let everyone know potatoes. So, potatoes, that's what he's going with. What's going on, Murph? Good morning to you as well. Yeah, so we're going to be talking shooting string theory, Q&A, of course, and also we're going to be doing kind of a live demo on how to get the perfect shooting strings, and also kind of all these different setups that I've talked about for years, our guest has talked about, and a lot of people have been, the U. We'll talk about the U is kind of what I'm trying to say without hating on it already. My beard is looking majestic, yeah. Eve just got home from Hawaii this morning at like 7:30 in the morning, and she was like, "You have a beard." I'm like, "I always have a beard. You just haven't seen me in 2 weeks." So that was entertaining. But how's everyone doing today? Good? Potatoes are the greatest. Dude, Buffalo Sabres themed head. I gotta see that. That's awesome. Are those prescription? Yeah. I wish I didn't have to wear them, but I do. I also, since I work on a computer so much, they have like anti-reflective, which cuts down on my headaches from working too much in front of a computer screen. They actually are pretty awesome. What up, Laxman? Beard. What up, Amir? Amir Khan. That's an awesome sounding name. He sounds like an actor. Amir Khan in some movie. Satellite Beach, Florida? That's a town? I haven't seen the Wolf Shaft yet, but I would like to. Majestic. What's going on, Tim? Good morning, bud. If you come to New York, can I meet up? Yeah, shoot me an email, info@thrownastring.com. I'll do my best, as always. Always love meeting with people. Oh, there's String King ads in front of us? That's funny. I haven't seen them yet. What offensive head would work best for an LSM? I really like the new Revolution. Stallion's pretty good. The new one I think would work out pretty well too. I just haven't seen it in person yet and how well it'll hold up. Not so silly this one. Oh god, the chat's going way too... There's an actor named Amir? Wait, is Fitzy here? Oh god. Oh god. I guess only Redbeard could be one. Lol. What's going on, Evan? The chat is going too fast. So I had to scroll back up and check it out. Favorite offensive head is the Tactic. Yeah, what's going on, Connor? Just good to have you back, bud. Big game Tuesday. This is awesome. Throne Titan shafts? I don't know. I like them, but I think a little bit differently when it comes to shaft than most people, so I don't know. I gotta think about it a little more. No one showed up for the game. That sucks. That sucks a lot. Yeah, I have red in my beard. That's kind of funny. What up, Wes? Tour would be a good idea. Have I heard the new Papa Roach song? No, and I hope I don't have to, but I have a feeling Chris is going to make me listen to it. Have I used a true shaft? Yeah, it broke. Everybody's loving the beard. So funny. Make me look like a scientist. Yeah. The idea behind them was it's like how can I explain it? Like shop glasses. Like my dad was a mechanic, so I always grew up wearing like, you know, safety glasses, and I was like, I have to get glasses, and I was like, what if I just got safety glasses, because I only use them when I'm working. And I got yelled at a little bit by a girlfriend being like, you can't have shop glasses as your actual glasses. So then we went to the glasses place, and I'm like, you have clear glasses? And they're like, yeah. I was like, all right, it's halfway there. So that was kind of my idea. It's like, have clear, fun ones. And it was funny when I went to Google for like a YouTube thing, every single person that worked there was like, oh my god, your glasses are so cool. And I was like, oh, I got them because I wanted to make them look like, you know, like welding working glasses. And then they didn't think they were cool, which was kind of funny. But they work at yeah, this is one of my favorite shirts. I love the pink, and on the back it has the ribbon logo. It's one of my favorites, and I only have one. Usually I get two of every shirt, but this one I only had one because they were so limited. I kind of wish I had two, because I love this one. Every week we talk about whether I should make a head or not. How's life? Life's good, man. Life's always good. If you wake up and you can do whatever the hell you want and make people happy, life's amazing. It's supposed to look like Supreme. From New York. It's a nod. It's a tip of the hat. Tactic would be decent for LSM. Usually like a little bit, it's not going to have the highest ball placement, so when I'm end of a stick, I'm going to have as much feel. Usually for LSM long poles, I like to have a stick with a higher pocket to it, or at least a higher return to give you a little more feel on the stick than if it's a true low pocket, like how a tactic would be. Yeah, there's tons of heads out right now. I play Transition in box, and we just got a rink for the New York City box league. We're going to be playing in Queens this year. We just signed up. Super stoked. We actually play outdoors in the middle of winter in the city. It's pretty amazing. What is a relationship deal breaker for you? Nothing. I'm the one that screws everything up. And it's only because I like working. What kind of parent do you think I will be? I don't know. A lot of people said I'd be a pretty good dad. I feel like I don't let people get away with crap, but I feel like I also understand and am pretty upfront with people. Where's the rink? It's right off of Lake Pond Road, right over from Brooklyn, from Queens, so it's like, I think it's like 12 minutes from here, so I'm pretty excited. That's gonna be awesome. How many Prague jerseys do I have? I have 3 of my own, and then I have like, I think 3 or 4 other teams that eventually I want to get hung up. Make my kids string my sticks? Nah, I love them stringing my own stick. Lake Pond Road, yeah. I always kind of laugh when it's like a main road too. And first time I saw it like in GPS when I moved out here, I was like, Lake Pond Road, and there's no lake or pond near it. That's the other thing that's like unbelievably hilarious to me. I look like a history teacher. I always did bad in history. I don't have a Green Gales jersey. That'd be pretty cool. I'll also be busy during Thanksgiving, Max. I have family too. Favorite sport to watch besides lacrosse? Hockey. I'd say hockey and then probably esports. I watch a lot of esports. What kind of pocket do I like? I like an everywhere pocket. I like a high pocket when I high pocket. I want a low pocket when I want a low pocket. We'll bring Chronicles back. Chronicles is more of a in-season show, I feel like. Taco Bell or Chipotle? Taco Bell. I grew up on that stuff. Grew up in Ohio. Had no money. Taco Bell's the way to go. How do I turn on my computer again? Aw, Fitzy, you're the best. What up, LACROSSE man? Man, what time is it there? Oh, I guess it's later, right? Oh yeah, so it's like dinner time. You're good, you're good. Eve was just in Hawaii, so I kept like having issues with like what time it is here compared to what time it was there. It was definitely funny. She'd be like, "Are you sleeping yet?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's 2 in the morning. Stop calling me." Would I like a Green Gales jersey? Yeah, I'll totally trade you for it. That'd be sick. I was trying to steal Teeters last time I played with them. We were like trying to figure out what we could swap. It was pretty funny. From Norway. Awesome, man. McDonald's or Burger King? McDonald's. We didn't really have Burger Kings around where I grew up, so McDonald's is the way to go. LACROSSE man for the win. So true. You met me at LACCON? That's awesome, Scott. One of the best times of the year. Optic or Tactic for X-Attackman. They're very, 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 very similar heads. If you use like a true low pocket and you like a quick release, go Tactic. If you want a little bit more hold, go Optic. And also, you might be able to get the Optic cheap. And if you just want to try one of them out, get the Optic cheap. I don't have a favorite hockey team because the Blue Jackets are so terrible. So you're 100% right. What's going on, Sam? Yell my name, please? That's creepy. Wait, what did RB just say? Grant 3 wishes right now. What would you wish for? I only need one, and that's just for everyone just to get along. I don't really need anything. I just want people to stop arguing and hating each other. Sam Williams. Favorite dye job on a head? Like this was asked last week. I think my favorite like one that right now I feel is the Joker head. That one's just really stayed with me. I really loved that one. Can I do a backflip? No. I can barely jump. I'm legit just a hockey player. I think I remember Michael. He was trolling us, right? Have I ever seen a factory purple Nas X? No. It sounds ugly, though. Split dodge or face dodge? Face dodge all day. No, don't change hands if you don't have to. I don't want to be president. Are you kidding me? It's the worst job in the world. Favorite place in Florida? That's hard, man. I go to Florida a lot. I really like Flagler Beach, Daytona, because motorcycles, beach, family lives there. But my mom also lives in Key West, and Key West is pretty cool. Favorite thing to put in an omelet? Well, I have an omelet every morning, so I have a perfect answer for this. I have onions, peppers, and tomatoes. And I have half egg whites, half whole eggs, and turkey bacon on the side. Delicious. Benito down the street makes it for me every morning. Love that guy. And it's awesome. For Christmas every year I give them a bunch of throne gear, and then when you go in like at lunchtime to order lunch or whatever for them, they have like throne hats and shirts on and stuff. It's awesome. Love those guys. Jordans or runners? Jordans. Would I be a Fogo or a goalie? Probably Fogo. I have no interest in playing goalie. I think goalies are out of their mind, and that's why I try to protect them, and I'm usually pretty good friends with all the goalies. And I faced off in hockey a lot. I played center for 20 years. So, probably Fogo. Is the Frost Throne Pocket and Dye your bay? The Frost Throne Pocket? I think that's Fitzy's, right? Did Fitzy just ask that? Yeah, I mean, that was a good one. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good one. What up, Spencer? I was looking at that the other day on my phone. I was taking stuff off my phone, and I was like, that one was pretty dope. That one was sick. Yeah, the World Games is always amazing. I was fortunate enough to be there for the whole week. It was pretty sick. It was totally sick. Am I gonna make a throne room on the Mirage? Maybe. I do things that I just think are cool. I try not to think about You know, whatever. I just try to make stuff that you guys like. Collab with Omelet Place? That'd be hilarious. I'd be into that. Those are my people. Can I use a Mirage with a high pocket? It pretty much as a clutch. Has the same shape as a clutch, so yes. Will I be at the championship this year? Of course. The game, the quadfecta. Favorite clothing brand? It depends on kind of what you're talking about. I'm thinking about getting a drone. There's a new one coming out that I'm really interested in, and I'm probably gonna get it. But I don't know if I'll ever use it that much. I don't really like. The thing about our content is I have to like make the thing. It's not me just like talking. Well, I guess that was kind of the idea. But like making the heads and stuff, it takes days, and you can't really die in the middle of a field. Greg, no, we're friends. Yeah, there's no reason to hate each other. You should make an ugly Christmas sweater? That's such a good idea! Oh my god, I'm writing that down. That's a sick idea. Ugly Xmas sweater head. Doubt. Yeah, the Mavic Pro is exactly what I'm probably gonna get. I heard he just lost his though. But yeah, the GoPro thing, yeah, I heard about that. I didn't really look into it yet, but I'm probably gonna get a Maverick. A Mavic. I called it a Maverick. Greg already made an ugly Xmas sweater dye? Did he really? Oh, it's alright. South Beach Nikes, they're Chris's favorite of all time. Chris loves them. He actually has them. He has the Reebok Pumps ones. They're pretty awesome. My favorite kicks are the Air Jordan 1 Shadows. Alright, I gotta check texts really quick from people that are coming in, and then we're gonna move on. Right now I'm wearing the Oreo 5s. Look at the yellowing, so you know they're legit. So that's what I'm wearing today. Prank Chris. Chris doesn't get any more time after his last week's shenanigans where he didn't even know how to use a computer. Yeah, I think Christmas mesh would be kind of cool. It'd be hideous. Wait, what? Spencer, do you have the Joker head? Wait, Spencer just sent me a photo of the do you have it? Dude, I want to trade you back for it because I didn't want to get rid of that. Oh my god, I can't believe you have it. That's so sick. Well done, bud. That's hilarious. We can talk. Alright, so Spencer does have the Joker head, and he goes, maybe. After I said, do you have this? And he goes, want it back? And I go, damn. And he goes, we can talk. Alright, alright. Alright, I'm getting that back. That's gonna be hilarious. The coolest piece of mesh you've made? The Dream was probably one of my favorites. The one we're releasing next week, I really, really, really like. Performance-wise and looks. Probably my favorite looking, though, is probably the LE Fall. That one was just awesome. What do you mean by Ohio's getting a stadium? Like the MLL team? What's that mean? That one's got the Throne logo in it. That one right there. Yeah, the Emerald Teams, that's pretty cool. That's kind of crazy. I bet it's just like a LAC stadium that's named after them is kind of the idea. I mean, there's a decent amount of lacrosse in Columbus. That's awesome. I'll have to check that out. Ohio's doing some cool stuff, man. Alright, Wes, I'll definitely check that out. Let me write that down so I don't forget either. What year is it? What, because it's sad, but I know all of the, snack of choice are those, is it Trader? Yeah, Trader Joe's, the pretzel bites with the peanut butter in them. My buddy Dylan turned me onto those, and it's like, if I see them, I will literally eat all of them, and that's it. It's pretty bad. Have I ever pranked Chris? Yeah, I put a boot on his car. That was funny. Yeah, they definitely need a pro team in Chicago. They're working on it, though, and the NLL's got some craziness going on that they're trying to get a million teams in a year or something, but I don't know. I had a conversation with them and I got to go meet with them, but I'm just kind of, I don't get it. I don't know. All right, well, I think that was enough for Q&A. We'll do a little bit later, but I want to show you guys the this week's throne room. I thought that would be pretty cool, and we'll just watch it together. It's a pretty quick one.
This week we finished the World Series.
Let me know if the volume is good enough. Cross is going everywhere, man.
You guys saw LACROSSE on The Simpsons a few weeks ago, and ever since I've been...
Jeff's sending me a Mark II-V. He asked me to string it up, so yeah, we'll string it up and see what it's like.
Practicing my Canadian egg roll, which I think was probably the funniest part of the entire episode.
Turn it up.
I just think it was awesome. I grew up on The Simpsons, always loved their kind of satire on humanity and the way people act, and I thought it'd be really fun to do a stick like I'd be doing for like Bart Simpson or something like that, and give it a really cool kind of Simpsons-y look for them honoring LACROSSE. And I think this will be a fun one. So let's...
You can't bring shafts on a plane. They will take your shafts. Dude, the Canadian egg roll is amazing. So do not bring your shafts. You guys can hear it, right?
Get to it. For this project, we're using a Warrior Evo 4X because we had one laying around the studio and its scoop is absolutely
Bart Simpson with the Canadian egg roll.
And we're going to be basing this off of Milhouse's dad's hat. I believe his name is Kirk, and in the episode he played college ball and had a chance to play in the pros. I don't want to ruin the episode. Go and watch it if you haven't yet. But he's got this really cool hat on.
Seriously though, look how sick this hat is. Like, I honestly want this hat. It's so ridiculous. And when he's like, Chris kept talking about the van, where he's like, oh god, what does he say? Paul Rabel got stuck in my head when he like says the travel van bra. That was hilarious. But if you haven't seen it, you got to go check out this episode.
For the Springfield Neutrinos, and it's kind of color blocked yellow and blue, and that's this cool kind of like fireball.
Check out the travel van bra.
Super awesome. And I want to make this head bold and have really clean lines to make it look a little bit, or make it look cartoony, because the sticks in the actual episode are pretty bad. So I thought this would be super fun, and like my idea kind of is like, let's just make a head for Bart Simpson. That would be hilarious. So we're gonna get the artwork on, and we're gonna throw it in the other die.
Come off the light. What is it?
All right, so I kid you not. I was like, Chris, we just need to get you shaking this thing a little bit so I can just like do the normal like metal thing. And Chris proceeds just to like lose his mind.
You're blinding me.
And it's so ridiculous.
It's almost like a techno light.
It's not a techno light. Oh god.
Or dubstep, like wow, 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 wow. Oh, DJ Skrillex.
Right here's the best part. He nails it.
This form to be yourself.
He nails it.
No one's gonna accept you.
Is that volume better? Simpsons apparel? Nah. Chris is a child, but that's why we love him.
We're at the first color finish. We now have to do the hardest part of this dye and mask the entire scoop. Pretty much mask everything but where the red's gonna be.
Will the dye stain the pan? It shouldn't. It's usually better to use a pot, not really a pan. And just one of the ones that are smooth on the inside, but has texture on the inside, like it's for cooking pasta and stuff like that. Don't use one of those. And you just don't want to leave it in the dye for very long, or the dye in the pot for very long, because it will stain it. You do want to clean it out from time to time.
And why this is hard is because we're doing kind of an inset of colors, so you're not able just to dye the whole head and layer it like you normally would do with colors. So you really got to mask it off, and then you got to take hot glue and fill in all the little seams, and then throw it in the dye, and it's pretty much a 50-50 if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. Just take your time and make sure you get every little seam that you can.
What up, Shields Lacrosse? Chris does
After
make.
letting the head cool for
Chris
a bit,
is a
after
saint.
being in the dye, it's time to take off the mask and see if we had any bleeds.
This is always the best part. But like, so the big thing I think to pulling off the cartoon look was just making this line like absolutely sharp as it could be. We turned out pretty sick.
The top came out nice. Now it's
They were
time
coming
to
to
finish
Ottawa?
up the dye
I mean,
with the final
maybe.
step,
That's
and
kinda
that is
far.
the royal on the bottom. And for this, I want a nice rich royal with a hard line to add to that cartoon look that I'm going
I
for.
probably shouldn't say anything.
This is
I
one of the
just
hardest
said it
things to
myself.
do in dyeing, because you need to set the head in pretty much all at once, so you
I
can
like-
get any
I like
type of
YouTube.
fade
Instagram's
and,
fun,
and
though.
really not move.
I like making
and that's
things.
what's going to give you a nice solid hard line that almost look like it was painted on. It's difficult and takes practice, takes patience, and just try not to breathe. With the
What up,
dye
LC?
finished, it's now time to string it up, and we're going to be using some ruby fiber with.
That's the whole thing. Bringing the red into it is what makes it like, you know, RGB kind of colorway. It's sick.
Also some blue and yellow stringing, but I think the red stripe going down the
Yeah, I was just
center,
in
going
Germany.
up into that logo at the scoop is going to give
just went to
the head a
Munich.
really kind of cool cartoon look to it. But it's also like, you know, it's like laser beam.
Why the glue does the second large vinyl seal? Let me talk about that real quick, because that's a good question. So the vinyl is just on the front. If you wrap the vinyl onto the back, unless you really do a good job and like shrink it and everything, it'll, how can I explain it? Like in clothing, it's like it'll pucker because there's not a dart in it, so you have to take out, because it's a flat thing wrapping around a three-dimensional object. So I actually cut it on the back, so it's just to the edge here and here, and then I'll hot glue gun the entire back. And then here you can see it's vinyl, so when you take it off the sheet and stuff like that, especially when it's has a large void in the middle, it'll gain in size, it'll stretch a little bit, and that's what these little tiny holes are. And you want to go in and just do it. So it's kind of it's a combination of both to get it perfect.
And then throw a cartoon look that I'm going for. And this is one of the hardest things to do in dyeing, because you need to set the head in pretty much all at once, so you don't get. Now time to string it up, and we're going to be using some ruby fiber with also some blue and yellow.
I'll give you guys a
strings. I
hint
think
later on what's
the red
dropping.
stripe going
We got
down
something dropping
the
in
center, going up
this
into that
upcoming week.
logo at the scoop is going to give the head a really kind of cool cartoon look to it. But it's also like, you know, it's like laser beam. A little silly, but I think it's unbelievable and absolutely perfect for this project. And we were planning to do a time lapse for this, but while we were shooting the time lapse, Chris just did something that outshadowed the entire time lapse.
This is the
and
best.
it's pretty good. All right, you ready for it? And Chris punches himself in the face. Now, this is actually.
I've watched it a million times. It's so good.
So this is absolutely hilarious, but it's only funny because all of us stringers that actually have strung a ton of sticks have all known that we have done this at one time, and you're just looking at your hand, looking at the stick, just being like, I'm such an idiot. The Simpsons head is now finished, and it turned out exactly how I wanted it to. It's kind of ugly. It kind of has that cheesy look to it, but it's synonymous with kind of the cartoony Simpsons look. And you know, it's an homage to them putting lacrosse in one of their episodes and kind of their look, which I think is super cool. And it's definitely different, and that's what I like about it. But it's definitely one of like the ugliest heads we've ever done.
I have.
But I think that's what makes it super cool at the same time. My favorite part has to be the red ruby stripe going to the logo up top. Just gives it a really kind of cool cartoony vibe to it.
Just the
especially
line
next
from the
to
logo to the
gold,
match is
yellow,
so
and gold
sick.
blue colors. This one-of-a-kind head is up for grabs. You can hit the eye in the top right-hand corner or check out the description below for details. As always, let me know what you thought of this project in the comments below. And if you learned something in this video, please throw the video a like. And be sure to subscribe to Throwing Lacrosse to not miss our next custom projects. See you soon in the throne room.
Nice. What do we think about it? We like it? It was fun doing something for the Simpsons, right? Considering they did something for us. I think that's a really cool idea. I definitely think it's so cool. I mean, I grew up on The Simpsons. I always really enjoyed what they did and kind of their outlook on things. And the fact that they had it in there and did some funny stuff, I think just doing a stick for Bart Simpson, I think was hilarious and something that I've always wanted to do. But that was awesome. So now we're going to move on to kind of our main thing. We're going to bring our special guest in. Quick background on this guy. I met him how I've met Redbeard, how I've met Spencer, how I've met Fitz, how I've met just kind of everyone that I think is super awesome, and I'm just so happy that this silly little world of lacrosse stringing has brought us together, and I've been lucky enough to play against him, play with him, throw around, hang out, and he knows his stuff, and I've always enjoyed his kind of outlook, because I think his style of stringing is not totally different from mine, but he got to it in a different way, and I think the way he looks at things and approaches it is super cool. Kind of his narrative or his aesthetic is a little bit different, and that is our buddy Simon from High Strung Lacrosse Canada, the longest name on Instagram, and he's a good buddy of mine. And so you're on now. I just got to turn up your volume. I like how you're doing crazy eyes currently. What's going on, man?
Nothing, buddy. What's going on?
Just a lazy just a lazy Saturday talking about lax stuff and drinking bad coffee.
Oh yeah, just the good stuff. Oh, there I am. Woo,
woo. So I just want to kick it off. It's like we're gonna try and start doing some like sanitary questions for everybody that comes on. So how did lacrosse start for you, and then how did the stringing come into it?
So I started playing lacrosse when I was 4. Honestly, I went over to a buddy's house, and he had these like old, like beaten up rock lacrosse sticks that his parents had given him. And we went in the backyard and we were just playing for hours. And then when my dad came back and he saw me playing, he's like, "You want to play lacrosse?" And then I just haven't stopped.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And then, growing up, being around, I played in a bunch in Orangeville, Halton Hills, Mississauga, Brampton. Pretty much when I was 10 was when I really started stringing, doing my own sticks. There was nobody around that could do it. And when you just start messing around and trying to figure out different pocket styles and what you want to do, and by no means was I anything good when I first started, but it took a lot of time, and now it's just fun.
That's awesome, man. First of all, can we see the hooded sweatshirt? Just because it's one of the best. It's by far the best stringing account logo out there. Nobody comes close. So okay, we're good. We get it.
just giving the picture.
I just adjusted his volume, guys. Let me know if it needs more adjustment. Let me know. So 4 years old. That's crazy. And if you guys don't know, Orangeville and Mississauga, those are some legit box lacrosse towns, like legit. So that's kind of where I think it's interesting. Is his background comes directly from box. Mine kind of comes from field, but they're both kind of like. You're around lacrosse, but there's no one that really, it's not New York or Maryland. Like, we're like, there's a little bit more of a gear understanding, I think, is a better understanding, where people are like doing a lot more of this stuff. I think it's more so like, I come from a place where we just played, and you come from a place where you played box lacrosse and try to murder people. And I think that's what's interesting, because you kind of see that in our like six and the way we string. It's very like, it's a lot less. I'd say opulent. It's just kind of like, yo, this is gonna score goals. Like this is gonna score goals, and you're gonna be able to run through 3 people and look invincible. It's gonna be awesome. And then when you go to throw, it'll actually throw. It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna love actually being able to pass the ball after dodging on someone. It's gonna be a totally different feeling. That was the funny thing. We played Wednesday night, and Chris broke a shaft on someone. He was all like curmudgeon and upset and stuff like that. And he went and picked up his backup, which I think I gave him a hard time and restrung it or something like that. It just doesn't look like his normal sticks. And there's like 7 seconds left on the clock. We came down, I sealed for him, and I'm like, just shoot. And he like did like the Chris like 5-step windup, and I'm like, he is going to drill me so hard in the cock. I'm like, this is going to be terrible, because I was like stealing, you know, to the inside, and he just ripped top left, like right over the goalie's stick. And I was like, wait, what? And I'm like, you should stick with that stick there, buddy. It actually looks like it's going to throw. But it's like, he was like looking at it like, that was amazing. I was like, yeah, it's huge when you don't have a copious amount of whip in your stick. It was definitely funny. But today we're talking shooting strings. It seems like a simple concept, but us stringers know it is not a simple concept. And I would argue like 75% of the sticks that I have to fix, or 75% of people that call in, they're like, my stick don't work no more. And I'm like, well, like, send me a photo, blah, blah, blah. It's always someone tightened the shooting strings too much. And they think the shooting strings are, you know, 99% of what it makes a pocket work. And I would argue that it's like 5% or less, unless it's a traditional. You have to have them in a traditional, or you're going to have a bad day. But when you first started stringing, when you were 10, did you understand the U yet, or were you still just on the idea of straights?
U's were not around
At all, right?
It was like throw 10 shooters in your stick and make it look good. Like
10 shooters.
Yeah,
So.
it was in there. Like it was a completely different thing. Like there, I wish I had pictures from when we were stringing up sticks, and some of the stuff that we would put out. You know, by no means were they like looking good, but
Yeah.
they were just like, yeah, just whatever worked at the time, right? And it wasn't like we didn't have the same theories. We didn't have as much people in the community that at the time, and it was like you didn't have somebody be like, hey, let's go look up a YouTube video on how to make this work. It was like, let's string something up, let's go to the backyard, and let's mess around with it for the next 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like the kind of joke that I had for years. It was like I was one of the best or one of the worst players, and it all depended on what stick that I decided I wanted to play with at that time, because I was always like screwing around with sticks, and which definitely held us back as a team a lot, because I would be like, nobody can strip the ball from me, but then I would literally have to like throw the entire stick in the goal to score, because it wouldn't come out. And I got yelled at a lot. Then I was like, well, I need a second stick if, like, you know, you want me to have it. And then I think for Christmas I finally got someone, because I always had to buy all my own gear, so I finally had a chance to get a backup, and so I just made that like my game stick, and then I started screwing around with traditionals and stuff like that. Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I mean, I remember when the U came into play. I was like in 8th grade, and it was when they released like the Powell pocket from Warrior, like that kit. And I met Casey Powell at the state championship, and I had him sign my Razor. It was super sick. I thought I was like the coolest kid in the world. And that's when I started being like, all right, there's something to this, because we still weren't channeling sticks, which we're going to talk about channeling in another episode. But I mean, everything in the pocket kind of coincides with each other, but it was kind of the idea, like, we had this like sauce bowl, and like, how do we make it so the ball has more friction on it? So we started putting U's in it. And now I'm wondering, do you think U's have a place, or do you think that they're just like, you know, archaic now that you understand that channeling a stick is, you know, has a lot more performance than putting a bunch of U's in it?
I would say that where the products have come with mesh, we are moving away from having to have U's. I think when we had, you know, when growing up, all I ever used was like hard mesh. Like if you had a Warrior hard mesh kit or a Warrior 6-diamond hard mesh kit, that was all you had. And you made those, and you didn't need the channel, you didn't need anything, because the mesh was so solid that it just made that pocket. It was so consistent, and you could use that thing for an entire year before it even began to even soften.
Yeah.
But I think now where we're looking, and they're using different textures, they're using different materials to make the mesh that's adding a little bit more hold, it's adding a little more grip, it's changing the way the ball takes off of the product. I think that's replacing the place of a U.
Yeah, I mean the other big thing that I think a lot of people don't understand that I think I've been able to kind of comprehend just from stringing so many sticks is like a 5 and a 3 is very different than a 6 and a 4, like in terms of the feel and like what it does in the stick. And I feel like a 5 and a 3 with channeling still has validity. A 6 and a 4 with channeling, depending on what you're trying to do, like if you're putting a high pocket like in an Evo, it's like, yeah, do it, because it's like, I think what also justifies a lot of shooting strings is not only the return offset, which I talk about a lot, but also how wide the head is, because it's going to give you that depth pinch point in the stick. But I think moving away from U's and having more knowledge into stringing and doing straights, I think will give you more consistent sticks for a longer time for the majority of lacrosse players. Because it's like, there's no way in hell I could ever give Ned Karate a stick with straights in it and be like, it acts the same. Because he's like, no, I can't shoot 100 with it. But his like wingspan is like 7 feet. And it's like, if I try to throw with his stick, I'm going to throw the ball behind me. And it's interesting to see how he throws with one as opposed to, sticks that we do for some of the smaller guys in terms of stature. It's definitely interesting, but I definitely think the U had a very... the U was a necessary stepping stone to get to channeling a stick, I feel like. I think people looked at that, and it was like when you pull the up and down rails, you saw it pull the mesh in, which gave you more hold. And that started being like, well, can't I just make it happen in the mesh itself? I think that was a really, really interesting concept, which I think is still valid and continues to move stringing forward. But the next question I have for you is, when did you find out that the bottom shooter needed to be the loosest and the top needed to be the tightest?
First throw.
First throw. Because that's like still a thing that like kids bring me sticks, not even kids, but like like high schoolers bring me up sticks, and I'm just kind of like look at it and I'm like, why do you think this is going to throw? They're like, oh, it doesn't, that's why I'm asking you. And I was like, look at the ball release, see, it doesn't. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, what do you think happens when you throw with it? Like, you think it just, there's some like magic that happens where it doesn't get all screwed up? It's definitely interesting, but that definitely did a lot of made you understand, like, actually, like, the old, like, I'm just gonna throw the ball forward in the head, like that test, like actually what you're doing is testing the release of the stick, and judging off that is what's gonna make it different. And I thought that was an interesting concept, and like I know in our videos I've tried to explain that by being like, you gotta kind of just go out, like, people are like, how do I get to be a better stringer? And it's like, string a bunch of sticks and go and suck with them, and then you'll get better. And it's like, that's kind of what I did. I was just like, oh, my sticks were terrible, I can't do anything with them. And then as you start to understand kind of the knowledge of actually how they work, it really gets better and better and better and better. And I know that you use rolled shooters a lot, right?
Yeah, they're my go-to. Probably
There we go. That's a stick. Oh god, that looks... Hey, look, twinsies.
So this will be next year's gamer.
That's sick with the all yellow on that shaft. That shaft's still like one of the coolest things we've ever done.
Yeah. Oh, totally, man.
I love that shaft. Mine's like destroyed. But
this one I got from Spencer, and it's
God, Spencer's got all the goods.
Hooked me up huge.
Yeah. Huge. So when did roll shooters come into be, and why still?
So originally I used to use rolled shooters in my 6 Diamond Warrior monster mesh that they had. And it gave the smoothest release out of the mesh. I found as soon as you put just a regular weave, because of how distant the actual mesh is, the ball used to catch on the actual shooter itself.
It'll like flip up.
Exactly. So it used to change. It was never consistent. So then I started messing around with it and rolling through, and I saw one person who had just in their stick just these weird rolled shooters from like the factory, and I was like, well, maybe I'll try those, and it worked perfect.
Yeah.
And then I've never stopped using them. And like there's sticks that I have that I use regular weave, but a lot of them are rolled.
So you like it just because it just lessens the whip in the stick?
Yeah, I hate whip.
Okay, yeah. That's kind of... So, I mean, I don't know how familiar everyone is with rolled shooters. I don't have an example. I thought you would be the key on that.
Yeah, this will show it because it's pretty controversy in the colors, but so like...
Okay.
So yeah, you can see here
that it's actually behind the mesh. So
exactly.
there's no grab on it.
There's nothing. It is like all the excess is behind, and it's completely level with the mesh. So when that ball comes out of there, the only thing that is adjusting that release point is the tension that you put on each of those 3 shooters.
So that's perfect, because then I wanted to try and talk like, you know, why shooters, because I think there's a lot of times where people, because it's like hilarious for me when like someone doesn't know thrown and stuff like that, and we're like are at a tournament or something like that, and people are like, even when I go play in tournaments, people are like, oh, you string sticks? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what kind of pockets do you want? They're like, oh, just like a good one with like, you know, a U and 2 straights. And you're like, no, what kind of pocket do you want? Like shooters, like who cares about that? And like I need anything else. I'm like high, low, whip, no whip. They're like, oh, okay. And I think it's so crazy that people are just like, oh yeah, just string it and just put these shooters in it, which I think is what controls the pocket, which it really doesn't at all now that we kind of know how to string. If anything, what we've touched on briefly is the fact that it's just like a release regulator. Like all it's doing is changing the release point in the stick. And you had mentioned to me previous that like where it came from, like the shooter idea coming from what we believe were the Gate brothers, and kind of the idea was before we had this knowledge of like, you know, channeling, which came from U's, and where did U's come from? They came from having straights, and where did straights come from? And straights came from the Gates putting them in their stick because the mesh that they had would stretch so much, and they were trying to regulate where that release wasn't getting more power out of their sticks. And I was wondering if you had any more thoughts on kind of that, because I think that ties in directly with what I almost think might be the for someone that plays your style, the superior shooter, which is a rolled shooter, because it doesn't interact with the ball. All it really interacts with is that release point.
Yeah, so basically the biggest thing when shooting strings were really coming into the scene, it was a player needed to understand the difference of, you know, not necessarily where the pocket was going to be placed when we were first learning how to string, but basically learning when the ball was going to be released out of their stick. And I think when the Gate brothers were using their sticks and they were trying to figure out exactly how to make them more consistent, they were adding shooting strings to change the top, 6 inches of the head and how that was going to adjust. So when they started adding shooters, your low, mid, and high pocket wasn't really as important as how the ball was going to take off from the ramp of the rest of the stick. And basically what happens is when you have a softer mesh, the ball is going to continue to ramp out, and whenever you install your bottom shooter, that's the first point of contact where the ball is going to begin its release. So when people talk about having a lot of whip or not a lot of whip, a lot of the sticks that I string are more of a mid-low pocket, and then you bring the shooters down a little bit more, and it ramps out quicker. So it still gives you that quick release, but it doesn't have the hold that a high pocket with those same shooting strings would have the same effect.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I always think it's really funny when, we post a photo of a really high pocket and people are like, oh my god, that's amazing. And then I post my stick and it's just like a bag. And I'm like, oh, I'd much rather use that stick. And that kind of idea of understanding that is huge. And it really is just about adjusting this release point. And it varies from every head, but this is where you can gain a lot of power and lose a lot of power, or gain a lot of accuracy and lose a lot of accuracy. And I mean, the biggest rule is this one should be the loosest and the top one should be the tightest. And that's what's going to give you that gentle release. Or what some people use with is a very aggressive release, which I've seen successful in a lot of pro people and very good college people I've played with. Which I think is interesting. And that's what kind of led to this idea of the heavy top nylon, which is hilarious because they're like no longer made of nylon, but everyone still refers to them. Because I was like, oh yeah, it's a heavy nylon string I put on the top. What do we call it? The heavy top nylon. But this, cord shooter, the idea was that as shooters themselves are soft and have a little bit of give to them, which you can gain power by snapping your wrist or loading the stick. But the idea was to put one that would really change the release point of the stick. And pretty much what it does is it takes the top of the stick and just drops it to wherever you pull that thing as tight as you can. And it gives you a totally different release in the stick. And I know you're more of like, let's just go all the way through and just be accurate and nice and smooth and put the ball right in the corner. And, there's none really like that snap motion. And that's what I think is interesting is kind of where I said in the intro, it's like your methodology of stringing is very different than mine, but they're built on kind of the same two premises, and that is like accuracy and like adaptability. And because I think we play pretty similar styles of lacrosse, and mine on one hand is much more like, I don't want to say, I think it's more like scientific to what like the physics of the ball actually happen, and yours is like science just don't get in my way of scoring. You're like less is more. I just want to put the ball in the net and fist pump, and I'm like, I can shoot 3 miles per hour harder than you, and you're like, I don't care, I'm gonna actually score. And I'm like, fair enough. But that's what's super interesting, and I would encourage anyone to, this is a fun thing I did for myself where when we developed light and then when we developed fiber, I used it without any shooters, and I just started slowly adding them into different spots to try and see the ideas, what we could create, because I wanted to make the gold standard. I wanted to make something that had nothing more than it needed to besides, and then I put gold aglets on and kind of screwed that whole idea up. But the idea was, can you get away with giving everyone 3 shooters and the pocket performing the same amount? And now I would say yes, based on what we've developed. And that was really interesting to me. And also the dynamic between a shooting lace and a shooting cord, and developing those to be the best they can be. And kind of what gives you that feel, but also that release and that accuracy at the same time. And now for, like, do you prefer a certain shooter for the rolled ones and a certain one for just a normal straight? Or you just kind of like, whatever?
I've moved away from just the cotton shooters and the cotton blend. I find that, they're good for the first little bit.
But then they get rough.
Exactly, and then it starts to really adjust. But the poly shooters, some of them are really, they're really nice. I have tried the fiber shooter, and they're nice too. They're great for the barreled. They just give a nice smooth release. They add a little bit, I want to say, I don't think grit's the right word, but a little bit more texture. Yeah. Just because of the material that they're out of, which is nice.
We did like a tight flat weave to it, so as soon as the ball hits that, the feeling of like even hands coming all the way through, and you just put the ball where you want it.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to do is to give it a little bit of elasticity, because the first ones we made were like cardboard. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, they'll never move on you. But then I started realizing that you couldn't get as much power. So we added a little bit of space in them, which made them a little bit more spongy. And what it allows you to do is then when you're coming through, you can literally, snap your wrists over, and it will just load it a little bit more. And it just gives you so much more adaptability in the stick, which I think is interesting. But it's harder to get with rolled shooters, because it's, instead of it like pushing up the mesh and giving that power, it kind of like with rolled shooters, when you snap your wrist, it's more like road bumps. Does that make sense? The ball like sets in between them because they're more rigid from that back string.
Yeah.
And I hate that feeling.
See, I find with rolled, it's almost hard to get whip out of a stick when you throw a rolled shooter in, because of because the tension that you put across that back bracing changes the release point.
Yep.
So I find that when if you're going to do a rolled shooter, you're doing it on a stick that you want 0 whip in.
What happens? I'm almost curious now. Like, what happens if we took a loose woven poly and then did a fiber going the other way? Because the rolled would give you that. The rolled would be as elastic as the backstring, and that might be able to give you more snap in a rolled shooter with less whip. Because now you're changing the dynamic of the two together.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So you weave the two together.
Well, yeah. Well, you do it like how some goalie sticks done, where it's one string and you just double knot it.
Yeah. And then you've got the back brace is the elastic one.
Yeah, and then the front one's the rigid one. You're going to the NLL with that idea. End story.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. We're going to have to mess around with that later.
That would definitely be awesome. So it's interesting. And for you, have you ever... I mean, I've seen some sticks that you throw a top nylon in, but they're not really like your game sticks, I feel like.
No, it's more for display.
Yeah, it's more for display.
It's 100% like...
Oh, you got a Goldie? Nice.
Yeah, this is like an actually factory gold optic.
Dude, sick.
But you can see...
Oh, so you roll that too, though?
Yeah, it's 100% rolled.
God, you're such a good stringer. Look how good that looks. And it's like no nonsense. It's just like, yep, this works. That's pretty sick.
This has fiber in it too.
Nice.
And so what I find is now, and I'm one of the weird people that I like feeling the plastic, that last little tick off the plastic.
Oh, so that changes everything. So you wouldn't use a nylon. That'd be stupid.
Yeah, but I find sometimes, depending on how the pocket's strung, putting that nylon in there but keeping it loose allows it to hit that plastic a little bit more.
Okay.
Because it's not as thick as a shooting string.
Well, also, if it's coming up and it bounces on, because that's a sidewall thick one, if it bounces on that one, you actually get a reverse, because when you shoot, the ball goes this way. It goes towards you, and that's how you can make a ball drop or sail high. So that's going to put even more on that, which would make it tick off more than if you didn't have it at all. Because then if you didn't have it at all, it would continue in the stick, and then the angle would be adjusted forward more.
Yeah, and like this one, it's pretty, like you can see, it's pretty loose. And if you look here, like if you tightened this and brought it down,
like that's how I'd have it.
This way, which most people crank this.
Yeah.
Then it's not touching any plastic, and that's your new release point.
Yep.
But with mine, where the pocket's coming out, you can see here that it's back behind. Let me get the angle here, and it's still hitting plastic first.
And on an optic, that's difficult. That head is such a backwards cant to it, which is interesting. That's
which was tough because a lot of the heads that I used the torque for like years. And that was like my go-to. And then when I started using the optic, it was like I had to change my entire stringing idea to get the same effect.
Yeah, totally. They're extremely good heads, both of them, but they're extremely different.
Yeah.
How many more ground balls did you get with the optic compared to the torque?
To be honest with you, I had the toughest time adjusting to the optic because of that backwards canter.
Yeah.
Because when you go down to it, when you have a pocket and you string it, I find that the mesh gets so much tighter up top here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't set in, but when you look at like a torque, where you've got,
it drops in like crazy. Look at that stick. Oh my god, that's another thing I don't have. Wow, that's sick.
Oh, this one, yeah.
That thing's ridiculous. Look at how low those shooters are. Only in a torque can you pull that off.
Yeah, and this is a beauty.
One of the best heads ever made, if not the best.
So you can see that it's just, it was just a huge adjustment getting used to it and finally figuring out a pocket that would work.
Yeah.
That you could use in both, that was versatile, and you could switch back and forth, right?
Yeah. Have you tried the Tactic yet?
I have one right beside me, but it's got a trad in it.
Trad in it. Let me see that thing. Because I have a feeling you really like that. That's going to have probably the best release for your style. Wow. And you did this?
Yeah.
Does that thing weigh 10 pounds?
It's actually pretty light, but it's mounted on an Elfie wooden shaft, so I'm sure it'll balance itself out.
Wow, that's pretty sick. Let me see the shaft. Does it have any other markings besides that? Is it just ash?
Nope. That's just his
or
burn mark.
hickory?
And then it's just solid wood.
Wow, that's pretty dope. And you got that when you went to the res?
Yeah, I got that when we were down at last night, the LACROSSE All-Stars Invitational.
Oh, cool. What'd you think of that?
It was awesome.
You had
Such
fun?
a cool experience.
Yeah, you got to come to Prague.
Sign me up.
All right, I'll find you. I'm trying to get Travis to make me like a card or like a flyer. And he'd be like, "Need a goalie? Need a goalie? Need a goalie? Need a goalie?" Because that's all he needs.
We got to tell Redbeard and I come as a package.
Yeah, we need a goalie, and the other side's like this Canadian. Actually, no, that's probably how we get Travis to team. Be like, yo, you want a Canadian from Ontario? They're like, yeah, yeah. He strings sticks too. And he comes with the goalie. He comes with the sidekick goalie.
Yeah, with a red beard.
Yeah, but no, he Travis went over for the Münchner Cup, and he said it was absolutely ridiculous. You registered for Turkey? Like turkey?
Like turkey dinner?
Yeah, I'm confused. I'll send you a form. Oh, anybody can play for Turkey, apparently, according to Redbeard?
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. It'd be pretty cool, though, to get... I mean, as cool as Cuse was, but to get, like, Fitzy and Spencer and everyone over there, that'd be hilarious. Because it's literally... It's, like, as good as the Lax All-Stars one. I mean, that one's based off the Prague one, but the Prague one has, like, 18 years on them or 20 years on them. So it's, like, the whole town comes out... and then the other thing is, it's just crazy. I should have played for Jamaica. Yeah, Jamaica was insane. That one kid is just so good. For the Sultans, yeah, that makes sense. That team's scary. They got really. We beat them and they got really angry. And I'm like, why? Like, first of all, like we were pretty heavily favored, but then they got so angry with like 40 seconds left. And I'm like, chill, everyone just chill. They got aggressive, and it's all Canadians. It's all like a bunch of crazy Canadian guys that are playing for Istanbul or whatever. It was definitely a unique sight. But what was your biggest takeaway from that?
Just the experience. Like I've played a lot of lacrosse, but going down playing like in that arena is just like, and I know you've talked about it in other episodes, but it's just like such an epic experience to be there.
It's like a church.
Yeah, it's a lax church.
Yeah, you just walk in, you're like, oh God.
It's like you're in lax heaven. Like you just walk in there and it's like you want to play. Like you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
Like
I had a lot of ribs that
week.
week.
My second time being there because we went to we were down at the World with you guys last year, and we were there till like 4 o'clock in the morning playing lacrosse.
I had the worst blisters from like playing in basketball shoes, running around for 4 hours. Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
You just don't want to stop.
Yeah, I mean that floor is just amazing. It's so ridiculous how fun it was. It was super cool. Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be an annual thing, which I think is going to be pretty awesome. Definitely a tournament that's needed. I mean, me and Connor have been talking about something like this for like 5 years. So like, for him to like pull it off, I think it's just absolutely cool about everything about it and who showed up to play, and playing all those native teams that you normally won't get to play. I think was super cool. That was definitely different because they're like, some of them are. I mean, I've played Onondaga before, but like legendary native teams like that, just like playing with them just like hanging out is super cool. It was definitely an amazing experience, and I have a feeling next year it's going to be like almost probably twice as big, because I think people like us are going home being like, it was sick, and we're usually the ones that were guys like, all right, I'll go now, cool, yeah, sick, let's do it. Which I think would be pretty awesome, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. Well, the next thing I wanted to do was to put shooters in that head with you, and I was thinking, do we do All right, maybe we ask the chat. Chat, would you rather see Joe shooters or would you rather see Simon shooters? Which one would they rather learn? Because I think that's the role. I think is an interesting concept, but I want to make sure people understand kind of everything that they could in this situation. I was at Harvard last week for a tournament, dude. I've been on Harvard's field. That's another field that's like crazy cool to play on. Simon, Joe. Oh, thanks guys. Simon, me. Oh god. Oh, all right. We're currently going 50-50 hard.
I think we're going with Joe because that's a lot of Redbeard.
Oh yeah, he's just trolling. Actually, you know what we'll do? How about we'll do 1-1? That makes sense, right? We can explain that. Redbeard, you're being a bad friend right now to me. I'll remember this. So yeah, so after everything, Chris was like, "Oh, by the way, I have a piece of that dream mesh in my desk back there. It's just 1 diamond short." And I'm like, "Are you kidding? This whole time?" I was like, "Let's get that strung up." So we got a kit. So I think we'll throw white shooters in it. I think that'll look pretty sick. So I think we'll start with the nylon just because that's the easiest for us to do. So the idea of this is, which we've talked about, but see, as the ball releases, it goes all the way up to the top of the head. But if we put a hard shooter in here, it's going to make this tight, which will then drop the actual release point. So I like to put mine usually in this row, but it's kind of hard to get in there sometimes. And I'll show you guys a little trick that I like to do. Come up between those two and make them even. And then this one is the only one that goes in. And then I'll keep it nice and rigid without giving you a bad release. But the other thing is, I think on this head, I'd be able to actually go in this row and keep it legal. Right? 4 inches? Let's measure it. Totally. Alright, we're going to drop it down. That's one of the best things about 62 days to LACROSSE. That's hilarious. Travis has got to set up 8 million things, including 300 different types of whistles. And the whole time he's just there like, I haven't slept in 3 days. Alright, let me throw this in real quick and we'll talk about... By the way, people that do this, where they like go 2 diamonds at a time, like that, and then do this over it, I don't like you people. Don't do that. You do 1 at a time, because then the tension's all the same. And hopefully that makes sense to people and I'm not just like trolling. So you're telling me you didn't get any of the dream mesh to represent your favorite country? Oh my god, is he really blowing up the chat constantly? What's he saying now?
Redbeard's on a mission right now.
What's he yelling about now? Everything? It's back. Alright, so see, we got it in the head. And then if we keep it loose, it's going to go all the way up to the top. So then what we're going to do is tighten it up. Alright, about yeah. And then now we can see the adjusted release points is going to come up, and it's going to hit off that, as you can see, instead of off the top. So that's pretty much all it does. But what it'll do is when it comes up, you'll feel almost a snap out of the stick, giving you a little bit quicker release, usually a little bit harder release if you strung it right. But it's definitely going to make the stick act differently, and you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. Simon hates it. I love it. You just got to get used to it, but definitely play around where it is, and then also you can stack it or you can do a space. Gives you a lot of different options, but this is definitely something I'd recommend putting into a stick and at least trying it out. And then we're going to do, I think the next one we'll just do straight. We'll quickly explain that. The other thing is, do you stretch your shooters before you put them in or no?
Yes.
You do? Okay. So
yeah.
You are smart.
100%.
Just want to get any of the elasticity out of it from cutting or whatnot. And then we're going to put it in. Do you go around the plastic? You go around the plastic, right?
I usually go, if I can, because normally through the top, I usually go through the hole, actually.
Really? And
yeah.
Why? I hate that.
Because I find that it actually doesn't allow the mesh to, if you're the shooting string to move, it stays locked in its position.
Oh, which would add even less shifting, even less whip.
Exactly.
You crazy, man. See, I like to put them through the side. I like to put them through the sidewall because that will give you more power because they'll be able to flex with the mesh. But you like to lock. You don't want anything to do anything.
No, I want to have a bag. But
catch it and shoot. Catch it and shoot. Catch it and shoot.
The top 7 inches of that stick to be smooth as butter.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, because this will end up giving your stick more hold and more adaptability when shooting.
Exactly.
If you go here, not around or in through the hole, just because it'll be able to flex with the mesh itself. But that just all comes with, having more confidence in yourself and not playing, righty box attackman where you just trying to pick and get the ball in your stick for 1 second and scoring. Totally changes the way you string a stick.
Absolutely.
That's like anytime I string a stick for a crease attackman and they come back to me, they're like, I score so many goals now. I'm like, yeah, because your stick has the quickest release ever. And it's an Evo X, so you're going to catch every single thing ever. See you later, Carter. I want to go shoot too. It's beautiful out here today. Now, when you're doing... So when you do your roll, you go through the head as well, from one side to another, and that kind of locks it down, right?
Yeah. Only because I found that if you go through the sidewall itself, you actually, the shooter, that back bracing, the consistency of that bracing, it adjusts continually and it's not as consistent.
Got it. And then so for these actual shooters, I don't tie them usually until I put the other one in. So then I can make sure that this one's kind of medium. Also, you can see here I have a little bit of extra in here compared to over here. So we're going to pull it over, flatten it out, make sure nothing is buckling or rolled because that's the worst. And then we'll tie this up, and then we're going to do the rolled one. We'll explain a little bit about the difference of the two. And that's an ugly knot. There we go.
I hate overhand knots and tie-offs. All about the square knot.
God. Red
He's
Beard,
a
you're the
little guy, eh?
He's just the worst. It's like he's a goalie. It's like, don't talk.
doesn't
Stay in
even
goal. We don't even need him. I'll get a shooter tutor for that. I'll get a predator rat thing. I don't even need you.
Today is definitely a hate on Joe day.
Why? Last time I have a friend of Redbeard on, not just Redbeard, because I can just berate him. Alright, so we're going to do one of these silly shooters. JK. Alright, so we're going to go in through the head, as you said.
Yes,
God,
sir.
I feel like this is like sacrilege. Doesn't want to. I need pliers. Those are side cutters. You gonna take that, Travis? Then mine at the moment. Hashtag soft. All right, so you go across the back, correct?
Yep.
Now, how do you set this? You just hold it?
So with my one hand, I cradle the pocket.
With my
Like
one
this?
hand, I cradle the pocket. Okay, yeah.
Go like
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And then I tension it. I pull it and tension it to where that point is.
Okay.
And then you go down and through the back, and then come back out through that hole.
No, doesn't this come up?
So you're gonna want to go back and around.
Like that? You're killing me right now.
This
All right,
lag is killing me.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, like
So
that.
like that,
So you
and
want to
then-
put that piece through. That one that's the connector is gonna go all the way around and back through the other hole.
This one comes through here.
Yeah.
It goes around the plastic?
This 3-second delay is killing me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to watch the video and then trying to explain this.
It can't go like that. Yeah, that's totally wrong.
No, other way. Now I'm seeing what you're talking about.
Yeah, like that.
Nope.
Nope.
Like this.
Straight under. Okay, so this one's. So I had it right the first time. You're killing me here. All right, cradling the pocket.
So that one that's on the outside. That one that was just in your hand is the back brace. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Boom.
Boom. All right. So kind of the idea is that this is what's going to brace the entire shooter. That's what's going to keep the same release each time. So you want this to be push the mesh out pretty much all the way without really stretching it. You're going to lay that across. And then this is the really the only weird thing is actually it's not going straight on one of these diamonds. It actually gets woven between two of them.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, we use this diamond and the diamond adjacent, and you're going to zigzag across, and your bracer string is going to go right in between those two going across. So into that one and then up to the adjacent, and you can start seeing it lock everything down. And now, do you do it like rigid right away, or do you just kind of get it in there and then make it tighter later?
So what I do is I actually put a crease in the brace. So I bend the brace, which is why mine ended up being so tight.
Yeah.
So you can actually put a bend in the brace, but I usually do that at the end.
At the end, yeah, okay. That's what I was
And then
trying.
because the one that wraps all the way around is the one that actually really changes the tension.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I always
Yeah.
usually set it with the flat string, and then I go in and adjust the other one for it. But that's interesting.
Yeah,
try
so
that out.
if you see some some sticks where they try doing this and they're like really fat, it's because
Yeah.
they haven't tightened that one wrapping it around, which means it's going to be inconsistent.
Totally. Yeah, trust me, I've seen a few of those.
Yeah.
I love when you see it like in Woodies, or a guy's shoot this is how we used to shooting strings back in Vietnam, and I'm like, wait, what? What'd you just say? Doesn't even make sense. Yeah, like that. Dude, look how sick that looks. Looks so sick. Alright. So. And now, what this one goes in the end. Yeah, so now the bracer string goes back through to the front.
Back on the outside and then through. Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be difficult getting this through here. Oh, good job, Epic. God. God. Yeah, this is going to be really difficult.
No one said being Canadian was easy.
But it is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh. Alright, this might be a little bit of an issue.
Fitzy.
Alright, we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Chimichanga.
While I'm finishing this up, you guys have any questions for the one and only Simon? How did you get your logo?
The one and only Ryan Defoe.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
It's a gooder.
Yeah. It
As
came
they
from
say.
like having a couple beers, and I was sketching a logo, and then I sent him an email, and he was like, "Okay, leave it with me." And then like 3 days later, he sends me this massive file with like 7 different logos, and it had this, and I was just like,
Done.
jaw to ground.
Alright, cool. So we set this one now. So I definitely think a key to express is your back brace string. You want it to come out and then go in on that side, because then you can set the tension. You want to make sure
Yeah.
that one is set. We're going to kind of do it where we think it should be. And then pretty much going to lock down this other one, as you said, all the way across.
How many heads do I have? Oh boy,
That's
that's a question.
I think the government's going to come after you.
Yeah. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Around me, I have 8, but there's a closet that is chilling somewhere. There's a bunch more in there.
The armory.
Yeah. My favorite pattern. Ooh.
A good one.
Yeah.
One that
Anything
throws.
makes a mid-low bag. Mesh or traditional for box? Ooh.
Here, I'm gonna do a square knot so Redbeard doesn't cry later.
I'm gonna go with traditional for box, but put the hankering on a broken in trad.
Nice. Well played. Well played.
How moist am I right now? Whoa. That's a question and a half.
I plead the fifth.
Favorite NLL team? I'm gonna have to go with the Toronto Rock.
The Rock. Alright, so there we go.
Favorite head? Ooh. Torque or Optic HS?
HS. I've never heard anyone say HS. That's funny.
Gotta
So the-
put the HS in there. It must be a Canadian thing.
Well, we just say high school. High schooler X, I guess.
See, so when it's funny when you say, like, when you say a speck of a head in Canada, people are like, "What?" Because we don't play by those
Yeah,
rules anymore.
we
The
don't
only
really
time we
need
do
them.
is when we go cross border.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen your guys' sticks. They're offensive.
Yeah. Spencer. Yeah, Roch Vegas is pretty decent.
Wrong answer. So that's the other thing, is that it goes not actually through, or like doesn't ride on a single diamond row. It's actually in between.
No.
So you can see the
In
space
between,
here,
too.
and then you can see the space is 1.5 here. It's another thing to take into account, but it's smooth. It's real smooth. right there. So that's pretty much woven cord, a woven shooter, and then a rolled shooter. That's kind of the idea. It looks pretty cool though, right? Right when it goes to the color change, it's like it looks like something's wrong. I kind of like it. That's pretty awesome though. Cool. Anything you want to add to the shooter conversation?
No, I think we've been hitting it on the head.
Yeah, I agree.
Been pretty good.
Do we have any more buttery biscuit right there? God, that sounds good. I kind of want barbecue. I think we're gonna get barbecue tonight. I watched a like a Vice documentary about barbecue in Canada, and whatchamacallit? What's that place where they have all the good barbecue? Calgary. And now I really want a bunch of barbecue, like pretty badly.
Hook and whip are different things.
True, they are. Some people like whip. A lot of people don't like hook.
Hook is normally a bad thing.
Hook is normally a bad thing. Yeah, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
It's like you should see me golf. There's a lot of hook going on.
Yeah.
A lot of hook and a lot of slice. I'm not very talented when it comes to golf, to say the least.
Cowtown. What is up with Fitzy? Stop doing that, man. Jeez. Cowtown.
XL Fiber 12. Do you mean just longer?
I think he's talking about for a wall or a woody.
Yeah, I mean, I could make it. The only issue is like how many people really use that in those sticks. There's like 20. That's the only issue. Yas. What's the best head for attack? A good one. Yeah, for a wall. I mean, the wall's a terrible head. It's like not even a lacrosse head.
Redbeard.
You'll take 10 pieces. If you want 10 pieces, I'll just make you 10 pieces. You just have to ask. Are we going to Manchester? I'm probably going. You want to come with me, Simon?
Yep.
You playing for Team Canada?
Sold.
God. Team Canada is so good. It's ridiculous.
Would you use a piece of fiber 12 cut into 6 diamond? Ooh. That is tempting.
Do you want 6 diamond fiber?
That would be pretty disgusting.
Like, disgusting bad or disgusting good?
No, like good.
Alright, I'll send you some tomorrow. I have some right here. we just prototyped it. It's really good. I just don't think we're going to be able to sell enough. It's like, how much 60 really is there in the world?
Bring it to Canada.
Yeah? Alright, I'll send you some tomorrow.
Ask Simon how cool it was to play catch with Alfie. Yeah, that was sick.
You're like, yeah. Yeah,
that was
good.
like one of the most epic experiences of my life.
That's pretty good. Do you see any of his sticks? Like, did he bring them? Any of his really cool ones?
We went to his shop.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's crazy.
So we were like there, and he was showing us some things, and then we went into his backyard, and we used his personal sticks and like threw around for like, I don't know, half hour probably.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just a wealth of knowledge.
Oh yeah, and he's funny too. That's the other thing. He gives you a hard time about stuff, which I think is like hilarious. Like, this man just trolls you a little bit. All right, hold on. All right, let me show you something ridiculous. Let me go grab it.
When did you start playing lacrosse? When I was 4.
Alright, so we just got this prototype in, and I asked Chris to string it up for me, so I could test it out, and I kid you not, this is what he decided to do with it. Just take it in. I go, hey, can you please string up that prototype 60? And he goes, sure. And this is what he gives me. Look at just.
Oh boy.
And the sad thing about it is it slangs. Like, it shoots so hard with the quick release in the 60. But I'm like, this is the ugliest thing. So I keep talking to Chris. I'm like, what do you want to do with it? He's like, dude, you got to call it like the sniper pocket. He's like, we put it on the website. And I'm like, no. So he spent like 30 minutes just to troll me with this. And I was like, all right, but we actually need to test it. And he's like, dude, I'm telling you, this is the way to go. So that's what it's about. The drop top 60 pocket. In a semi-pinched optic from use. We have like 100 brand new heads, and this is what he picked to string it up in. But it's pretty dope, and it's really light because of the 60.
Yeah, that's oh my god. Whew.
So
minus the top string because it's not my forte.
well, no, it's just stupid.
Everything else of that just screams.
It's just so funny. But yeah. So this is what we were working on right now. But yeah, I'll send you some. No problem. Because I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I gotta figure out. I don't know if there's a big enough market for it. But it's you know, it's like the 5 or 12, where it's like it is the best. It's like we just gotta see if. I mean, the goalie cell isn't as hard as I feel like as the 6 diamond. So that's why I'm like. But if you're saying in Canada, and if, like, for instance, if someone like you wants it, and someone like Murph wants it, then I'll totally make it, because it's like, you know, I want to make you guys happy, and if I can make it and it's here, it's like, who cares? He loves the 6 diamond. It shoots so hard. That's the biggest thing, is it shoots so hard because the diamonds are
ramps up
perfect.
That release.
Yeah, and as much as I yelled at Chris for it, I went and shot with it, and I was like, oh, okay, there's definitely something to this. So we'll figure that out for sure. I'll send you a piece. I got that note, and I got ugly Christmas head that I have to do, because that's going to be hilarious. Did you like the Simpsons head? Did you think that was ridiculous?
That was cool.
It's so hilarious. It's funny because it's like, here, I'll show it real quick. It's like really ugly. That's like my favorite thing about it. It's like, what team is yellow, red, and blue? But like the little like, blue, I think it's absolutely hilarious. And it's
and
well.
I think it was Tim Martin that said that the logo lined up so perfectly with the stripe down the mesh.
Yeah. So the big joke Chris has is like, the only thing I'm really good at is like with using my eyes to measure things. He's like, he calls me Hawkeyes. He's like, come here, Hawkeye, I need your help. I'm like, all right. I'm like, yeah, it's crooked. It's definitely funny. What do you do with the heads you do for throne room? They're usually customers' heads, so they usually get them. Lately, I've been kind of wanting to do like whatever I want to do. So that head and the 2 World Series heads are up on the website for sale. We're just going to start doing like a throne room section on the website where I kind of just do cool ones that I want to do. And if somebody wants them, they can get them. If not, I'll just keep them because I think they're awesome. What's the worst head ever made? I don't really want to hate anyone. I think you know there's a lot of bad heads out there. A wood board rebounder? Yeah, I bet my next door neighbors would love me with a wood board rebounder. The STX Liquid? Dude, I had a Liquid. That thing was awesome. Not. It was terrible.
There's a guy in my men's league that uses one for face-offs.
Oh, really? Because it's like super... It has a like very low offset.
Yeah.
You gotta love like Canadian men's league lax and the crap you see there. Like even the Scotia boys, some of the stuff they come out, I'm like, how did you even get this? They're like, oh, I played college for like a week in this one town, and they just gave it to me. I've been using it for the past 9 years. And
I've never seen so many
okay.
De Beer Tritons.
I still have one on a Triac shaft. Do you remember those?
Oh my god! Actually, when was it? I was at like a Play It Again Sports or something like in the summer, and they had a titanium Triax.
I have one. They're sick.
Titanium one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it in high school. When they like first came out, I was like, these are sick. And they were like, I think they were like $79 or $89. And I was like, okay, yeah, done. I really liked it. Yeah, we have one in the back. I have like the, it was called a 980. That was the alloy. And then the Titan was like just had TI next to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're sick. They're actually kind of awesome. And it's because like they're really tapered, but they don't like hurt your hand like a lot of like the tapered ones do.
Yeah.
Because Epic actually makes a really good back taper stick, the E shape, but no one ever buys it or carries it. I have one and I think it's really good, but people don't. I don't know. People I guess don't like it.
Yeah,
It's definitely a different feel.
It's nice.
Yeah, it was when the Arrow came out. The STX Arrow, it's so legit. I'm gonna get you one of those. Hey Simon, here I know you wanted the 60, but here's an STX Arrow. You're welcome.
STX Power Play? Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Or
that
the
was
Heat.
Definitely a difficult head. You strong one for Buddy? I want to see that. Is it on Instagram? What's a good box lacrosse head? I'll leave that up to Simon.
Ooh. Now, are you asking what I think or what I see the most? Who's that? Fraser. I'll look for that answer.
Do you recommend a low pocket optic U? Yeah, perfect. I'd recommend a low pocket optic U for anyone. You have the Heat and the power plant. The Heat was crazy, man.
Murphy would have that.
Yeah, he would. I strung the head that you strung for Throne Room 16. What was I don't remember episodes. I can't even read. What do I think about John Grant Jr. stick? It doesn't matter. It's John Grant Jr. He's the bionic man, the bionic lacrosse player.
His head is his stick is crazy.
Yeah. When you're his size, you can use something like that and it just works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen Culberson's Heat. That's true. That was pretty funny. Chris is sleeping right now. I'm gonna prank call him. It's only his day off. Can you make some 60? I'm Canadian. Lol. Coming down to Calgary to play? Oh, that's to Murph. I was like, he likes steroids. Well, yeah, he's had some serious issue. I'll tag
He
me.
would want to see my mustache.
And he's gonna like barter you for it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let me check the tag.
I do have some cool LE throne pieces laying around.
We'll totally have to do we'll have to try and get all the guys on and just do like a dope off and see who has the coolest throwback. I'm totally gonna lose.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go with because I've seen what he's got. Spencer's ramped up pretty good in that section.
Oh yeah, he's got the collection. I feel like he's definitely a pretty legit collection there. All right, so I said I'd show you guys a sneak peek of what's releasing. Would you rather see the kit or would you rather see the gear?
What?
Yeah, which one? I think I can only show you one.
Not fair.
Not fair? Let's see what people want. Gear. Alright, we got one for gear, kit, gear.
Gear. What is wrong with you people?
Gear, kit, gear.
Don't get me wrong, I love rockin' swag, but
half of each.
ooh, that's a tough one too. Half of each.
Both.
Attaboy Redbeard.
Kit.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be Spencer.
Alright, kit it. Kit it is. Alright, let me go grab the kit.
I think we already decided. Let's see Simon's wood stick. Which one fits?
Yeah, we should check out some of those woodies. All right, before I do this, show us one good woody. Let's see it. You got to pick one.
Give me a second. Do you guys want it strung or unstrung? I have a really cool one that I'm going to show you two. Hold on.
Oh, he's going to the closet. Things are getting a little too spicy for the pepper.
All right, so.
Murph, those sticks are sick.
All right, what we would be showing on the camera right here. Okay, so this is one that I'm working on. But
Whoa.
where it's from the World Indoors.
So that's a traditional one?
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's got the engraving. Then I just got to put a pocket in it.
Do you know the guy that makes all those? He plays for the Indians. Did you play that team?
Yeah, Evan Cree.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I have this one,
God, look at that.
which is a Lewis Mitchell.
Nice.
So that one's a pretty. That's a pretty beaut.
And that's got gray in it?
So this one is it's like a tan leather with a gold cross lace.
Dude, that's
and then
sick.
purple shooters and sidewall.
My buddy Luke got one of those from in Prague when we played Aqua Cessna. It was pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is the one. This is the first one that I've ever restored from scratch.
Nice. I like
So,
the black. The black.
When you guys talked about being murdered out.
Yeah. That's pretty dope. Is that an 7 diamond?
This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's a 5 diamond? How
Yeah.
short's the stick? Let me see it again. Oh, wow, yeah. Look how big that front diamond is. That's sick. So you did the gut and everything?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you FaceTime Fitzy?
I had
cheat,
50 in my garage.
You guys are such cheaters. I'm calling on old wise man. Dude, so sick.
Old drunk wise man.
That looks awesome. Which one do you like more?
Ooh, that's tough.
I know
I
which one
gotta
I
say,
like more.
I gotta say the one that I did, because it's
Yeah.
just, it's, you know, like I've strung them before, but like actually like doing all of the shaping and finishing, and then doing the wall myself, and then putting the actual pocket in it, and then seeing it come out the way it did.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's awesome,
yeah,
right?
it's just
so
cool to see.
it's so much crazier than stringing up a plastic head.
Yeah, because you see them everywhere. You don't
Totally.
see like a murdered out Woody when you're walking down the street.
Or a Woody. Well, maybe in Ontario, not in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Craig, we should get Parker on. Yeah, we're totally gonna have Luke on an episode. That would be good. What who made the third stick, the blacked out one that you strung?
just a blank frame.
Okay, it's nice looking though.
Yeah, real nice.
Well, now how did you get into Woodies? You just like thought they were dope and just started trying to get one?
So when I was younger, my dad was a collector of wooden sticks.
Oh wow, that's sick.
Yeah, so like he has like Etienne's. Actually, I have one of his here that I was just doing some work with the other day. This one's an old one. I hope I can get the camera angle right.
Wow, that's
So
crazy.
It's a Martin special.
Yeah, dude, that's a good collection.
All original pocket, everything.
Wow.
It's actually from like the 1946 Minto Cup champion.
Wow.
This stick actually belonged to Bob Goldham, who was like an NHL star back in the 40s and 50s. He had like 6 Stanley Cups and like, yeah, crazy. But it was
That's
like, it was
so
a gift
cool.
to my dad when he did some volunteer work for the Golden family. So
That's
this
so
is
cool.
This is cool too. So he played on the Aurelia Tigers.
How many sticks do you have behind your computer? Like, I'm confused here.
I have a lot.
Like behind you is like a couch and 1 stick, and then all of a sudden you're like, hold on a second, let me just get
Yeah.
this. That's pretty sick.
I got some shelves around me.
So they carved in the team name into the stick.
Yeah, it's so cool.
That's awesome. That's super cool. Well done, man. Well done. I think you and Travis, I think, rival each other in terms of the crap they have in the background. That's awesome. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, like you look at the camera and you see like 1 stick and like a throne shaft and a sofa.
And you're like,
what's this guy doesn't even lax. And then you look like around me and I'm just scattered with lax gear.
next time you gotta have it like we have to hang it from the ceiling above you, so you're just like right here. And you just like pull it down.
I just need a drone.
Yeah. Oh god. All right. Are you ready to see the gear? Or not the gear, the kit?
Kit.
The kit. Looks familiar, doesn't it? Looks pretty simple. So this will be releasing for a Black Friday promotion with some cool stuff. First up, the mesh is the shadow, or the onyx, so it's black, gray, and white.
I hate the lag right now. I can't see. Everyone else is like, oh, this is sick. And I'm sitting here like, yep,
Yeah.
Stacy Joe.
The string here is the new carbon. The new carbon gray color,
Oh my goodness.
which is amazing looking. So that looks
I
pretty
have,
amazing.
I have a stick ready for this, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. Is
Want
it
me
is
to
it
show
a,
you?
is it a matte gray optic? Should be.
It's this black,
Oh, that'd be sick. Nice.
but it's on.
Oh, I want to swear, but I can't. Oh my god. Yeah. All right. Damn it, I want that so bad. That's the OG one too. That's not the one I
Yeah.
have. That's the OG one.
This is
How were the graphics like? Was it like in a plastic bag, like in like a humidifier room?
It's mint.
Dude, it even
Never
has
used.
it even has the crappy old butt ends on it, like the not the rubber ones, like the plastic ones.
Yeah.
I remember those. All right. Yeah, tough.
And then
Tough is
There will
right.
there will probably be another one going on this OG piece too.
Nice. Yeah,
Maybe
that's.
6th time it'll go on this one.
I find myself pretty fortunate. I have the Titan, the Classic, and the Pro. I have an OG one of all three. It's sitting in the closet that I kind
Yeah.
of love.
I have a Titan Pro, but all the graphics are worn off of it.
Yeah, I had the one I used forever. I actually cut, and that's what makes when you're watching Throne Room and like the head's spinning on a shaft.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
that's a Titan Pro that I cut down and put on a stand. I feel a little sacrilege. Are you ready for the last thing, which I think is even the coolest?
Oh boy.
And that is the black and gold nylon,
Black
which
and gold nylon. What?
is going to be ridiculous because it looks so ridiculous. I'm going to be broke. You sold your Titan Classic? That's terrible unless you got like $150 for it. But so that's it. I mean, the gold with the tag and the gold with that, the black, and then the new carbon. It's ridiculous. Love it.
Spencer's gonna be all over this Black Friday release.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, this is going to be limited too again, so I have a feeling it'll go quick.
I just want to tell everybody right now, I'm calling dibs.
I feel like I should be able to put one aside for you and Spencer. I think I can do that as a friend. I feel like I owe you guys that. But so there's this, and then we have a gear collection releasing that's 4 pieces. That's all limited too, which is pretty cool.
Just want to throw out another dibs.
Yeah, another dibs. So that's what you guys get.
Are Fitzy and High Strung Lacrosse the same person? No. We're just extremely tight.
Yeah. They're just brothers from other mothers. Because they're
And
awesome.
a couple decades apart.
Yeah.
No offense, Fitz. You're a beauty.
I call double dip black magic and no give backs. What's that even mean?
Yeah. Leave it to Redbeard to throw out those.
But there you can see a little bit more of the colors to it, which is it's ridiculous. And just like this mesh in the packaging, well, when the rubber band doesn't look ridiculous around it, it's just like, things dreams are made of. So that's
I've been
awesome.
waiting
I'm
for
excited
this
for that.
release since you strung up that green optic with it.
Oh yeah, me too. We were like gonna release it, and then the summer colors got pushed back, and then we wanted to do the pink mesh, so it got pushed back again. So I was like, we're just gonna release it on Black Friday with something really cool, and just kind of do it right. And I think this is now kind of the time to do it. I think it's gonna be super cool. The head and stuff we're doing for it's gonna be pretty awesome as well. And we partnered with another company for kind of the gear stuff, which I think is a lot of people are gonna like. Nice on the Fiber 12. Fiber 12's doing pretty.
Isn't Fitzy Simon's dad?
I could see it. Like if you guys are out and about, it's just they'd just be like, "Yeah, that's your kid, right?" Especially if you shaved, you would totally get away with it. That'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Fitzy's
Oh.
the best dad.
Just to wrap up that one question, what's the number one box head, or what's the number one head you see used in box?
Ooh. Okay. So I'm gonna go with the Rabel 2.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I say as well to a lot of people. I think that's one of the best box heads and trad heads too.
Yeah.
The
I
black.
see a lot of the Evo 4s too.
Yeah, the Fat Boys or just the high schools, the HSs.
Actually, surprisingly, I'm seeing a lot more guys using the X spec.
Really?
Yeah.
You just channel it so much, just never miss a pass ever.
No, like and then the UA stuff's pretty big up here.
Of course it is.
I think that's just a lot to do with the NLL stuff, though.
Yeah, and there's the whole NLL stuff is going crazy right now, dude, because that new ownership and the new commissioner and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Under Armour is going to be a part of it this year. It's just crazy.
Yeah, lots of changes going on there.
Yeah, so we'll
Which
see.
is good. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just more so I think they're putting the cart before the horse a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like what has kept it going is like the hardcore fan and people giving a crap about it. And I think once you're just like, no, we're super commercializing it, I think you're going to lose a little bit of people being like, oh, this is my thing. I'm going to support the crap out of this. Instead of like, it's like we watch football, but it's like, it's not like I'm buying NFL apparel or like trying to get to go to all these games. Like I want to travel. It's just like, oh, I watch it because it's on and it's entertaining. It's a good product. But if
exactly.
Box Lacrosse was on, I'd definitely be watching that over it, or I'd be at a game. And it's like when you start getting away from that, it's just kind of like, oh, all right, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, SK is going to be a full stick in the NLL too, which is interesting. We'll see how it does. I don't know how I feel about it. They're also changing the logo, which I think's not the best move. They're going to change the NLL logo, which I've just found out. I haven't seen it yet though, so it could be the same thing, and I just don't know. But we'll see. It's just a little bit silly. A little bit silly to say the least. Well, I think that's everything, man. Well, it's awesome seeing you. I feel like we should just do this normally without people watching us. I feel like this is a good time.
Just Saturdays chilling with Joe.
Sup. That'd be awesome. But no, thanks for your knowledge. I definitely think hearing you, because I feel like I know your stringing and I know you, but we've never talked like just straight candid like an hour and a half on just like what stringing is to you, and the fact like the dad played and collected sticks. I think that's just so awesome, and I can see now why your approach to the game is so similar to mine, because you're just like, I like gear, but I like gear that actually plays, like, because there's some people have that disconnect, and I like that. I think that's super awesome, and you got some pretty dope stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I know there's some stuff there too that we'll have to have you on, like our gear off episode, where everyone just puts up something and it's like, well, how about this? And then Redbeard will be like, I have a Brodeur jersey that's signed. I'm so sick. And we're like, shut up, hockey guy. And we'll just give him a hard time about it.
He'll just throw up his gate web.
Yeah. And be like, look how sick I am. I'm so sick. Oh, it's Redbeard's favorite episode. Yeah, because you hated on me the whole time and I couldn't say anything because Simon was here and he's bigger than me and he can beat me up. I realize what you're trying to do here, Redbeard. God, you're the worst. But
Favorite episode, honestly.
favorite. I like how it's honestly. The best thing is he was on one too, so it's like it's not me at all, and it's not him. It's just you. But
What I should have done is worn that Redbeard hat this whole time.
yeah, you should just went like super branded. That would have been amazing. You show up and you're like NASCAR.
'Cause I have that Redbeard hat with the pin that I got at World.
We have. Oh my god, we have to whip that out. That'd have been so good. I was like debating this morning while wearing the shooter shirt you gave me, and we just both sit
Yeah.
here and we had the same thing on, and it's like, wait, which one's which? I'm like, no, I have to take this a little bit serious. I'm like,
1-on-1.
that'd be
Super
so
LE, double LE. Ooh.
black magic, no give backsies or whatever you said earlier.
How that hat was made.
Summoned. But that's everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed the live stream and talking about shooting strings. I think next week we're going to talk just about the throat string for 2 hours, I think, or something. No, we'll figure out something cool. Be sure to follow Simon on Instagram, High Strung Lacrosse Canada. Post some of the nicest, actually functioning good sticks out there, and overall has a good outlook on life and lacrosse. Thanks again, buddy, for being here, and hopefully I get to see you soon, and we can actually hang out and play to 3 a.m. lacrosse. Remember when we did tucks versus untucks? Wasn't that the best? Where they were like, how do you know each other's teams? Well, half of us just tuck your shirt in. And I'm like, wait, that works? Yeah, tuck versus untuck. It's the best thing ever. Every time I like run on to play like a pickup game, I'm like, all right, who's on tucks versus untucks? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you just got to tuck it in. It's a good look. It's a good look. It makes you look like you're there to play, but you could be going to a funeral at the same time. You got to tuck the shirt in. But
oh my god, that was amazing.
It was so funny. It was so funny. But that's everything, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Simon, thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon, bud. Have a good one.